How not to fight a crest. Mistakes in World of Tanks by Dangerously Incompetent. I'm driving the Dicker Max Premium German Tier 6 tank destroyer on Fisherman's Bay. It's a Tier 7 battle. Now regard the one column as I slow us down and take to the air for the bird's eye view. The one column is a valley. It's got a crest in the middle, well not in the middle, it's got a crest in the southern third here, where the road is, you can see just here. But what's interesting is what happens in the valley stays in the valley. No one in the rest of the map can affect what happens in the valley because they can't shoot down into it unless they're artillery, of which there are 2 in this battle. We've got 2 artillery aside. And we've got a bishop and they got an FV304, which are high arc artillery, which can do things like shoot behind steep bits of rock, of which this valley is furnished with 3 or 4, which you can hide behind. So we've got crest here, we've got hard and soft cover for the snipers at either end. The northern side has buildings, the southern side has the crest. Then we've got the rocks in the middle for spotters to rush up and hide behind. The advantage is somewhat in the north because their snipers are far away from where the fight usually occurs, which is over this crest. And so they can shoot where the people who are being spotted by the fight without exposing themselves, whereas people in the south can't. They either don't have the position where I rock up by the windmill in order to cover the corner of the village in the middle, or they push the crest essentially, which means they get spotted when the fight is right here. So our snipers get exposed, their snipers don't get exposed. So what happens? What happens in the setup? Let's speed it up to normal speed and rush back to me. You can see me in... it doesn't put a name. Where have I gone? There I am. Doesn't put a name over me. That's not helpful. So I've rocked up here. Slow down again. I can shoot the crest. I can't shoot the guys in the valley, but I can also shoot that end of the village in case they push up there, which they don't, so it's a bit of a waste of time being here. But let's see what the enemy have done. Their T-67 has rushed up to the rock, which is a reasonable move. He's bottom tier, he's fast, he's also expendable, being bottom tier. But he's also being joined by a Comet and a T-34-85, who are hoping to rush the crest and charge through and save the day, but look at what's waiting for them. They're not going to be able to succeed in charging that. Whereas from our side, we have a T-34-100 who has pushed forward to the rock to spot them. Not the best position, especially given he's not got much armour on the hull. There you see a shot. Was that the grill or was that our bishop? I think that was the grill. But now, here's the mistake. Can you spot it yet? Well, apart from the T-34-100, you really shouldn't be there. That should be a lower tier person. But yeah, the big mistake is, as you can see now, our guys, the T1 Heavy, the T-67 has already suffered from it, the Chi and the J Panther. See, there, that was our bishop getting rid of their T-67 with his high arc. Now that's what should have happened. What we should be doing, we should be, these guys, T1 Heavy and such, shouldn't be poking as they're doing. They're poking up one by one. They're trying to save the T-34-100, but he's done for already. And now our guys, who have all suffered from peeking up one by one up onto the crest, and they've been shot by the enemy snipers. And they keep on doing it. And now the T1 Heavy is pushed forward, the J Panther is pushed forward, and the Chi is pushed forward to save our T-34-100. But they failed, and they're getting cut up a treat by the enemy snipers. So we're losing our frontline tanks. Bad and wrong. Bad and wrong. What they should have done was stayed below the crest over this side, because then to shoot them, the enemy snipers couldn't shoot them because they'd be in this dip. There we go. And then those three keeners, the on the enemy side, the Comet and the T-67 and what else was it? Whatever, would have come over the crest. They would have started poking the crest, and our frontline guys could have shot them, and our sniper guys, like me and the T-67, could have shot them, and the artillery could have shot them. So we'd have weight of fire on our side, and we'd have butchered those three spotters, and their snipers in B1 could have done nothing. That's what they should have done, but they didn't. They're still getting shot up by the enemy snipers. Still being spotted. Side on to the enemy snipers, lovely. They're so concerned with that Comet. I mean, the J-Panther's even got his arse to the enemy. Now he's got his side to the enemy. And now he's dead. What a surprise. Bit of a mistake. So although the enemy has lost 3, we've lost 4. And we needn't have lost that many. I haven't managed to get a single shot because the enemy didn't poke over the crest, and their snipers were never spotted, and no one's turned up in that part of the village. So at this point I decide, well, we're not going to do anything positive here. We can't, there's no one to rush forward and spot their snipers, so there's no point hanging around. And if we're lucky, their snipers will sit at wherever they are, up in the village in B1, and they'll stay there a while waiting for us to rush. Which means I've got free hand to leave and go and help our heavy tanks in the east, which is what I do. I've made the major point I wanted to about that crest and crest fighting, and what stays in the valley happens in the valley stays in the valley, so I'm going to speed it up a little bit here. And while we watch the rest of the match, we could do a mini review, I suppose. The Dicker Max. It's alright, the gun's nice, apart from it has no traverse. Very tiny traverse, which is a real pain. Because as soon as anyone's a little bit out of your field of arc of fire, you have to move the tracks in order to get the gun back on them. Which means you're constantly moving, constantly resetting your binocular telescopes and your camouflage net, and the vehicle itself doesn't move around very fast. It's not fast, it doesn't turn quickly, which means you really, combined with the limited gun traverse, means you really don't want to get into close quarters combat because you're at a severe disadvantage. However, everything else about the gun's great. It has good damage, it has good penetration, good depression and elevation. The vehicle doesn't have much armour, so you really are relegated to second line sniper type stuff, apart from times of desperation. But overall, it's reasonably good. If you're happy with a sniper, then it's okay. But any other situation, it's a liability. Can't fight in the front line. If you get jumped by lights or mediums, you're stuffed. And even now, I'm going up against an artillery. It's 50-50 who's going to spot who first. And then I'll shotgun him or he'll shotgun me. Which will it be? Bet. Have you made your bet yet? Let's just slow it down for the exciting finale. Oop, wrong one. I spot him first. Kaboom!